This is Hoverman Cop, and I greet each and every one of you. You are going to see me talk with a young Coputite who is 10 years old, who I enjoy being a part of his life. And I wanted to talk to him with you, all of you young kids, about the importance of staying away from guns. And before I even get the chance to even ask him the question about guns and what he thinks about it, he talks about having a confrontation in school with someone who has been picking on him. And he says some things that was pretty alarming and surprising to me. And what you're getting ready to hear from his mouth will indeed shock you as well. But you will see in the conversation, he will have understanding of what he said and what he thinks and what I tell him what is right and wrong. And watch and see from yourself. Even you, my little Coputites across this world, listen and learn from this conversation. And when you see this first part, we then will break off and do the second part and go into the discussion of weapons, staying away from guns. I will be back. All right, Devin. Now we have to have our talk.
But I really do need the instructions.
We're going that way direction now. What's been going on with you and your mother?
That.
Huh?
That. Cause. What you mean?
You been doing a good job at home, or you been getting on her nerves?
Both?
Have you been acting bad?
A little bit.
Why?
I don't know. Probably because I don't know. Just because. I don't know.
What do you think the reason is?
That everything that I got is taken. My TV taken. My PlayStation 4 taken out my room.
Yeah?
And I got a TV and that I could talk to, a smart TV in the storage that I ain't even opened yet. That's still in the box that I had from Christmas.
Why did she take those things from you? What did you do?
Wasn't behaving.
Your behavior?
Yes.
Behavior well in school and at home?
What you mean?
You've been having bad behavior at school and home? Well,
Like Friday I had a beyond really bad behavior.
you did.
Because this little boy that goes to my school named Michael Walker.
Wait a minute. Hold up for a minute. I know you got to pee, but look at me and just talk for a minute. Okay, tell me again.
And because this boy named Michael Walker at my school, he called me a B word, so I called him the N word. But but the teacher heard him say the B word out loud, but then when I said the N word, then he want to get on me instead of him.
So, do you think it was right to call him the N-word because the color of his skin?
You think it was right for him to call me a B word?
And you're right. So, now, let's think about that. What could you do differently if he does it again?
Next time, tell the teacher, and if he don't do nothing, then tell the principal, and if she don't do nothing, then do something.
Okay, now let's work on that. You tell the teacher, right? Look at me. First of all, I want you to never again, you're gonna have to tell me this and be honest. Never call anybody out of their names, even if they call you out of your name. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why.
That is wrong.
Not only that,
Because I hurt them.
Yes, and you give them the power over you. You get power over them by doing good. Do you understand the difference?
Yes, sir.
And when you do bad, that represents evil. And you don't want to be evil, do you? Do you want to be like Hoverman Cop and do good? How do you think you're going to do that now?
By don't do nothing back and just tell the teacher and wait to see what he do. And then if he don't do nothing, then tell the principal. Or if she don't do nothing, you don't do nothing the first time. But if they do it again, then you do something. If you tell them again that they don't do nothing, then you do something.
And I want you to try this too. Make sure you always call me and let me know when you're having problems, and I can help resolve that situation with you and your mother and your father.
Okay.
Will that work?
Yeah.
Do we have an agreement?
Yes, sir.
And you're not going to call anybody out of their name anymore, all right?
Yes.
All right, Devin. We're in a good start. Now, as you see, that young Gopitite is indeed such a heart full of understanding, expressed himself very well indeed as a 10-year-old. Now you are getting ready to see our discussion as we talk about the dangers of guns and staying away from them. Watch this part and I will return. Now, I want you to know, have you heard about there are some kids?
That goes to alternative school?
No. There's one child who's 7 years old, and she had a gun in the home. And guess what?
She took it to school.
No. She pulled the trigger and killed herself. What do you think about guns, so that we can tell other kids what not to do when it comes to guns?
Well, I got a suggestion.
What's the suggestion?
You should never hurt somebody's feelings, because that can make them want to kill themselves. And I think about guns that it's good, but at the same time bad, because one reason is if somebody comes to your house and try to kill you, then you will have a weapon and try to do something back, like scare them a little bit. But if they try to shoot you, then you got to do something. And another reason is that guns are bad because some people just use them to kill people for nothing.
So I want you to look in that camera, and I want you to tell other young kids your age, should they take guns and use it or leave it alone? Yes or no?
No.
Now, we got a good start.
Wait, I mean, yes. Wait, no, because you couldn't use it. But I thought you meant like.
No, they can't use guns. When you see a gun in the home, kids, you should never pick up a gun. You should never touch a gun. And you should never, ever even get near a gun. I want you to tell an adult when you see a weapon and notify them and let them know where that gun is and tell them where it is, what color it is, and immediately get away from that area where the gun is. Because that gun is a dangerous weapon that can kill you and take you away from your mother, your father, and your loved ones, and even your friends, such as my friend here. Never again should you ever even think about holding a gun. And this message is approved by me. Over out. In conclusion, to all of you young Goputites across the world. I hope you get a chance to see this message, and I am so happy and honored to introduce myself to you as Hoverman Cop, who is your friend and is willing to go across the world to meet you and to comfort you and to give you the tools you need for you young little girls and young little boys. You will develop and grow into young men and women, and I want you to live a productive life, and you will not be able to do it if you ever put your hands on guns at a young age, not knowing what to do with it. You should never, ever put your hands on a gun. Always, I tell you, my Goputites, get a hold, talk to, speak to, reach out to an adult and notify them where a dangerous gun may be, and never